Rich dark compost with ivy, peanuts form a B, sunflower seeds an R, camellia sticks a Y, palm fronds A, daisy heads N. Bryan.
Episode 6.
Chard. Cutting, cooking and extra cropping.
A tray of red-stalked, green-leaved chard.
Cutting.
Bryan comes into his garden wearing dark glasses, a knitted hat, rust-red top and cream shorts with green wellies. He carries a big saw.
A saw, too big, Bryan.
Bryan looks up in surprise and reverses at high speed back into his house. He returns with a big knife.
Still too big, Bryan.
He reverses again and comes back with a small knife.
That's more like it.
Bryan handles the large, wrinkled leaves of a tray of chard that's standing on a black garden box. He picks up a metal bowl and a terracotta flower pot from a garden chair, puts the pot on the ground, runs his fingers up the box to ensure it's below the chard. He puts the bowl on top of the pot, taps it with his knife, and begins to cut the chard, being careful to sever the bright red stalks at their base. He addresses the unseen camera person, and his words are subtitled in green. You've zoomed out, right? Bryan carries on cropping the chard, bending to put each leaf into the bowl as he cuts it.
Chard, bright lights chard, full of vitamins, minerals and fibre. Ah.
A heap of chard leaves. Bryan's introduction is subtitled.
Cooking.
A subtitle. Lora, from the website Blindingly Good Food, has given us a few recipes that include chard. Photographs follow, tempting dishes of food with the ingredients subtitled. Bacon, mustard and chard pasta. The pasta is in both tubes and spirals. Moroccan fish with rainbow chard and quinoa. The grilled fish lies on a bed of chard. A subtitle. Lora also suggests substituting it for spinach in her bacon and cauliflower pasta. Grated cheese lies on a mound of the other ingredients. A subtitle. Or for kale in her mushroom and kale risotto. In the photo, the chard is mixed with the mushrooms, rice and orange cubes of sweet potato in a frying pan. A close-up of chard leaves. Bryan's back in the garden.
Extra crop.
A close-up of the soil.
Right then, just as you thought it was safe to get back in the flower bed and forget the chard, the chard's back. Now, what I thought I'd do is try and get a second crop out of this chard. They're very pot-bound anyway, and it's remarkable the amount of crop I got out of just a few pots in quite a restrictive root growing environment for them. And really I should have potted them up a bit more sooner, and well, not more sooner, I mean potted them up sooner. Forget them all. So I'm going to, ooh, windy, distant drone of a neighbour's mower. Right, so I'm going to take out one of these.
Bryan picks up a pot of chard with bright yellow stalks and puts it down on the soil.
Left a few leaves on some of them, so that might help encourage some further growth. Now, doing this business about from my point of view, in other words, me filming.
He turns the plant upside down and pats the bottom of the pot.
Oh, don't want to crack the pot. Crack pot. That's probably where it came from.
It slides out. The roots are a tangled white mesh in the compost.
Right. Root bound or what? So that's going to go into that hole. Oh, it's a crazy camera angle, but very compact root area. I've got my own trusty compost again. So I'm going to
He turns a yellow bucket of compost on its side.
tip a bit of that in.
He scoops compost into a shallow hole.
Imagine that's going to help. Whatever. It's organic matter, and that's what matters. Organic matters. What do you think? Bit of water in there? Hold on, comes over, what?
A jet of water soaks the shallow hole. Bryan tips the bucket. Wearing a black gardening glove, he mixes dry soil into the wet patch.
Bit of soil in there, look at that. Scoop out a bit. Probably worth breaking up the roots a bit there, look at that.
He crumbles the chard's cramped root ball.
And you can sit in there.
He firms up the soil around its roots.
Get the idea. Just a few more to do. You never know, you might get a second crop. It's all about experiment. This is first week of June, so we can keep a track on timing.